Welcome back to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. This section of our program brought to you by M.A. Neal Financial Services, and we are being joined by the Under-19 Girls 2023 State Champions for Rugby. Is that the right way to say it? Did I say it okay?
Yeah.
Good. Would you mind each introducing yourselves?
I'm Josephine Lober.
I'm Michaela Reed.
I'm Catherine O'Young.
Okay. Why did you guys get involved in rugby? That's not maybe a typical sport that people think of.
I was told that I looked like I'd be good at it,
Okay.
and then it turned out I was.
Wait, hold on real quick. What's a typical good look for rugby?
No clue.
Okay.
I think people say that to everyone
Okay.
because everyone plays rugby.
Oh,
So.
fair enough.
For me, I had a lot of friends who were seniors who played. There was like a big group of them that graduated my freshman year, and they all just said like, "You need to play a sport.
Yeah.
Come out and try it. We need more people." So, and it's the best thing I did.
I feel like when I joined late last year, and I feel like they just needed more numbers.
Okay.
So a couple of my friends who were seniors last year from soccer convinced me to come play.
Were you intimidated by first taking it up? Because I was looking at the vocabulary list here, and it's like impossible to understand this game.
Yeah,
So you didn't even start your freshman year?
No, I
Okay.
started like late last year, like the last two games, and it was definitely very intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got, we do these little paper plate awards at the end of the year, and last year I got the Simon Says Award.
Okay.
I just tell everybody, just tell me what to do.
That's how it should all be. Yes. Confused. Were you guys confused?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to understand. I mean, I still don't fully know all
Yeah.
the rules and everything. Like, I don't know if I really ever will, just because it changes so much. It's an evolving game. But it gets easier as you go on. You kind of start to get sort of this game knowledge that helps you go forward, and that's honestly the biggest thing in being successful, I think.
Agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me specifically, it's I have to hear something twice or do it once, and then I've got it down. So experience plays a huge role in it.
Okay. And you mentioned that everybody can be involved in this. So you have across the board, anybody can play rugby?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But you don't even have to learn the language.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, you made that easy. Is there weight classes? I mean, I guess I don't know anything about rugby, so bear with me.
No.
No. Okay.
I don't think
Okay.
So, I can, okay,
Because
can
I guess when
explain,
you
like,
picture rugby, like that you see on ESPN,
Yeah.
like 8 at midnight, it's always like big, rugged, frat-looking
Yeah.
guys, right?
So, it's kind of divided. So there's like forwards and then there's backs.
Okay.
So the forwards are like kind of what you would probably typically think of, like the bigger,
lineman.
taller,
Okay.
all the strong people, and then the backs are like our faster playmakers.
Okay.
So that's, I think in the backs is where you'd see kind of more diversity among like body types, I guess you would say.
Okay.
But all around, we just say like all bodies are rugby bodies.
Okay.
There's really a position for anyone.
Were there a lot of injuries? Because you were in the play, because you're on this program. By the way, are you gunning for my job? Every time I look at this, you're on my program. Just let me know so I can be prepared and start packing. But were you worried being in the play and then maybe being injured?
I mean, I guess it's always in the back of my mind, but I'm kind of busy all year round. I'm always doing kind of 2 or 3 things at once.
Okay.
So it's always in the back of my mind, like, oh yeah, it would be terrible if I got hurt, and then kind of everything would be at stake for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a risk I'm willing to take.
Okay.
I love everything I do, and I love the sport. So
Okay, well, that's a good question. That's my next question. What does the sport mean to each of you?
I feel like it's was still developing for me, but I've been playing soccer for most of my life, so it was
Okay.
like a big shock and ending to me at the beginning of this year for soccer, and I was like, oh, I don't have anything left, and then I'll have rugby, but then I was still kind of new at the beginning of this year, so I was like, I don't know how it'll go, but definitely throughout the whole year, it's like the camaraderie and everything that the team gains.
Mhm.
It's just like it's just a great environment to be in, no matter if you're playing the whole game, no matter if you play part of the game, no of the game. I feel like the team does a great job of incorporating everybody and getting everybody like kind of a position on the team
Okay,
and feeling of importance.
that makes sense. Yeah.
to me, I think the most important part of the game to me is like building confidence
Oh,
and building everybody's confidence, because for a lot of people, I feel like this is kind of a sport where you don't need experience to join at all, and most people who come in maybe haven't even played a team sport before.
Oh, okay.
So building that confidence with themselves and just playing a sport and being athletic, that's been the biggest thing for me personally, and helping other people grow their confidence.
To me, rugby is like the biggest adrenaline rush
Oh, really?
ever.
I thought you were going to say life. Rugby is life.
I wouldn't do that, but I just like there's no feeling like it.
Really?
Like it's the most powerful feeling in the world. I could be so injured and I could just keep going. I can't feel it. So
No
I
kidding.
think like it's empowering for me.
Okay.
I'd say it's great to see myself improve, because there's always room for improvement in rugby, and yeah, it's a good confidence boost as well.
So that makes sense with the slogan that I saw on your website, which is mental toughness, extra effort.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I did research. What did the championship mean for each of you?
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was a lot. So for me, I've been on this team since my freshman year, so has Catherine, so we've been here for about 4 years.
Okay.
And this team, Orchard Park, is kind of, it was a big deal for us.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since my freshman year, like, I just had heard everybody talking about, oh my gosh, Orchard Park, like, we've never beat them. They're crazy. They've got all these players.
Uh-huh.
Like, we would never beat them. And last year, we beat another team that we'd never beat, City Honors, up in Buffalo. And that game was just, for our team last year, it was huge. And then to lose to Orchard Park in the state final
Yeah.
last year was just crushing for all of us, I think.
Sure.
So then this year to have a second shot with a team that kind of wasn't expected to do as well as we did last year, to have another shot at Orchard Park this year in the state final and then win, like,
Yeah.
there was just no feeling like it. I, like, dropped to the ground when we won. I was like, it was just the best feeling in the world. It was so relieving, and just a huge win for me and for everybody who came before me to see that, I think.
Yeah, I feel like with what Michaela was saying, just the carry on of, like, that's what we were stressing the whole season, kind of, that we were playing for everybody that came before us, because
Sure.
we are still a relatively new club, and so it's a great accomplishment to have done this, like, this quick, kind of.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and for me, I know that this team has been, like, before I even played them or knew them, I was like, they've been built up, like, oh, this team. So I was like, I don't really know what to expect,
Yeah.
like, coming to play. But I think that we definitely, a lot of times when teams, if it is built up like that, they kind of crumble once it comes to it, which I feel like maybe we did a little bit last year. But this year we did a great job of just, like, the build-up. We just kept going.
Okay.
And no matter if there was a little, like, hesitation or anything, we just worked past it no matter what. And I think that was great.
So what was championship day like? Could you sleep the night before?
Honestly,
No.
so the first time we played Orchard Park in regular season, I think we built it up way too much, and then
Okay.
we were all stressed. We went in and we played terribly. It was our first 15s game of the season.
Wow.
So for states, we were really trying to be like, hey, like, we got this. Like,
Yeah.
this is our game.
Yeah.
Let's just go in. It's just like any other Sunday. Like, just the 8th Sunday of our season, whatever. Just let's go. So for me, I think that was my biggest thing, was, like, mentally, I was like, it's just another Sunday.
Mhm.
I slept great, did my normal thing, ate my normal breakfast, and went out and played.
She slept like a baby. I did not.
No, you couldn't?
I don't think
No.
I slept more than 3 hours, but for some reason I work best when I
Oh,
don't sleep.
sure.
And so I guess my subconscious, like, designed it to work that way.
Okay.
Because it worked. We did win. So it's okay by me. But I also agree with what Michaela said about, like, preparedness. Like, we knew we could win. We knew we would win.
Yeah.
We were told from the beginning of the season, and the entire season was, like, a process of making ourselves believe that we could.
Okay.
And once we believed it, we won. As simple as that. And so, again, like, game day itself was, I walked on the field and there were no nerves.
Really?
None. It was, like, again, empowering.
Yeah. Does it
Crazy
feel like
thing.
you remember playing in it, or was it one of those things where you're almost in a zone?
I got hurt at the end of the first half, so there's, like, a period of time during then that I don't quite remember. 'Cause
Okay.
I think I was focused on the injury, and sometimes that happens, but the rest of it I can remember pretty well.
Okay.
Like, I could probably tell you play by play what happened.
No kidding. So your coaches are here, but they're in a soundproof booth. So you can say whatever you want. What is a typical practice like? Awful.
No, I love practice. I think it's so fun. We like to have fun at our practices. All
Yeah.
the girls, we kind of joke around. We have our little traditions at the beginning and
Oh,
end
sure.
of practices. So it's always really fun for me. I love it.
All right, so we have one hate, one love. What do we got? No, I
I think that they're really fun. It's like going and seeing the faces, and everybody's like, anytime someone shows up, everybody's like, oh,
Yeah.
you're here. And I feel like that's fun, and the coaches definitely make it fun, especially because we practice at the same time with the boys and a lot of time with them,
Okay.
and you can tell that the coaches like our team better. And so whenever we'll go against each other in drills, like since it is with the guys, there's that like kind of competition but
Oh,
also
sure.
camaraderie between the two teams. So you get to interact with that, and so say a girl, we're doing a tackling drill and a girl beats a boy, everybody's like, oh. And so it's a lot, it's just fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of course, tough drills and everything
Of course.
because you have to prepare, but I think it's a lot of fun.
Do you think that you'll play in the future? Can you play in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I committed to Siena College for rugby.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunity to play this sport in college. It kind of, at least in the U.S., I believe it kind of started more as a college sport. So there definitely is a lot of opportunities for that. And right now it's a very growing sport. So there's a lot of scholarships involved in that too, which is very nice.
Yeah.
If anybody is looking to play.
I plan on going to UNC Chapel Hill next year.
Okay.
I'm committed there, but I wasn't originally planning to play rugby simply because it's a really, really good program there,
Mhm.
and I originally wasn't really convinced I was good enough for it.
Okay.
Not to mention they also just entered as a D1 program.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, but I've been told I am good enough, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I want to play. I want to possibly take a break from it for next year just to let my body heal.
Okay.
But I don't think I could really stay away from the sport for forever. Like, I will be back. Don't
Yeah.
you worry.
I'm going to Penn State. I'm committed there, and I wasn't originally planning on playing rugby, but this past weekend when we were in New Jersey playing, I actually talked with the Penn State coach,
Oh,
which was definitely helpful because she was kind of easing some nerves about playing. So I'm kind of taking it step by step now. And
Yeah.
so maybe not. We'll see.
okay. Stay tuned. All right. So, final question, just before we go, what will you miss the most?
I think I'll just kind of like Catherine was saying earlier, the rush of playing, and like when someone scores or when someone breaks a tackle,
Mhm.
everybody going around you.
Yeah.
And with that, like the team camaraderie, just like building each other up, and the feeling of like family, everybody's there together, everybody's working for each other.
Yeah.
If you fall, they're there to pick you up. It's just a great feeling being involved with everybody.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm still playing next year, so I'll still have that rush of
Well,
playing,
that's
which is
true, yeah.
nice. But
Yeah.
one thing this year that made us special, I think, was that we're such a family. We call ourselves mom and dad, and aunt. But I think that was just so special this year that, like, no matter what happened, we were always there for each other. We were always together, whether it was on the field in practice or just, like, at school or whatever it was. We're such a close team this year, which is different from other years. And that's just, I think about it all the time, and
Yeah.
it's just different this year, and I'm really going to miss that feeling.
I think for me, it'll be like the familiarity. I think things changing is always tough. And I've known this team, I've known those coaches, I've known Michaela, Josie for so long. And like, it'll be weird coming this time next year and knowing we're not going to practice 4 to 6 after school, Tuesdays
Yeah.
through Fridays. There's no big game against Orchard Park. It's over.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll be tough, but I'm glad I have them.
Sure.
And they're like the people on the team, like each and every single one of them is like anchoring me to this town.
Oh.
Like, I have a really, really good reason to come back here. I have a good reason to remain involved with the team. Like when I'm out of college next year, the season should still be going, and I plan on being very, very involved with that.
That's
So
good. Are you guys always going to hold a grudge against Orchard Park? You say it with
don't. That's the thing.
distaste every time
It's
you
just
say it.
on the
Yeah.
field, yes, but off the field, we're actually like pretty good friends.
Oh, okay.
We're really
Okay.
good
Yeah.
with them.
Oh, okay.
Like a few of them do hate me. Just saying. However, most of them don't. So
Yeah, we go to tournaments together, and it's just
We
funny
hang
that
out.
Yeah.
we always hang out with Orchard Park at all of our tournaments against the other teams. But when it's just us,
When
we,
it's
like,
game
we're
time.
like,
Yeah,
"Don't
when it's
talk
game
to
time.
me,
That makes
please,
sense.
Get away.
Well, oh yeah. You hate them? Is that what you were gonna say?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just like I feel like everybody likes having a rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need it, and with both of us being great teams, I feel like that's just kind of the given.
It's motivation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we know we'll always play them in season and at states,
Yeah.
and I feel like for a while it'll be our two teams at states. So I think it's just fun to keep that rivalry a game to build up to.
Well, champs, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV. Big Fox. We'll be talking to the coaches next. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Acom, and this is the M.A. Neal Financial Services section of our program. And now we're being joined by the coaches. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. What did the championship mean for you?
Man, it was just a culmination of a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Watching the girls program grow from the first year in 2016 when we had 4 girls come to practice every day, to then we had maybe a group of 8 girls that we were driving to Buffalo every weekend to combine with another team just to learn, to then we finally had our first real team in 2018, and just the culmination of all that hard work and watching girls like Michaela and Catherine come from freshman up till their senior year, and now they get to lead the team and really take home all the accolades that they deserve. It was just extremely rewarding.
Yeah, we kind of been knocking on the door, building up, with 3rd place in 2019, silver medal last year. Last year's championship, it was, we can win this, but if we don't, it's our first time there. Let's get that experience. Going into this year, it was, here's our standard, here's our goal.
Right.
And let's build to that weekend. Let's make sure. And there was times where we weren't sure if we were going to get there.
Okay.
So it was really by the end of it when I'm dropping to a knee on a sideline in the final whistle. It was like, we reached the goal. We matched the standard that we set at the beginning of the year, and it's not just them; it's everybody that kind of came before them that laid that foundation. So it's pretty big. In 6 years, really, to win a state title in 6 years
It's amazing.
pretty impressive.
Have you always been around rugby?
Yeah, so I started playing rugby when I was in high school in 1995
Okay.
down in New York City at Xavier High School, and then played in college until 2003. And then honestly, I was out of the game between being in the Navy and work until we started the club up here in 2016. So for me personally, it was great to get back into the game and be able to give an opportunity to high school kids that meant so much to me.
Yeah, starting in 2007, I played collegiately in Buffalo at Canisius College. Left there, played for a couple men's club, South Buffalo, Binghamton, and then I moved back to the area. And I think it was that first year, second year, I moved back. The club started, and we just kind of came around. So pretty much since 2007, I haven't had a year without this.
Yeah.
I haven't had a year without this game. So and that's why we call it a lifelong sport.
What was it about 2016? Why did you decide to start it here in Corning?
It was actually one of the students, one of our first boys. It was their personal project for their sophomore year
Oh.
in high school. His personal project was to start a rugby game. I think he had gone down to New Zealand with his aunt and uncle and saw a game and really liked it and
No kidding.
wanted to come back. And he found out that I had played, and I'm a teacher at the high school, and I helped him get it all going. And we had a great group of boys start that first team. And like I said, we had about 4 girls who came every day just to learn. And it was always our goal to get that girls program going too, right from the beginning. Just numbers came a little bit slower, but once we got that girls team going, they've taken off.
Okay.
I mean, it's been, like you said, the fact that it started as a student, and we still kind of hold that today.
Yeah.
Students get us, the kids get us more kids.
Yeah.
Not us.
Now you said you both played, and I can't remember what was it called, the front line or the back line, right?
They're forwards and backs.
Forwards or backs? Which guys? What did you play?
We were both forwards. We
Okay.
both played in
Is
the
that
front
right?
row.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was a tight head prop pretty much my whole career.
I pictured you as a tight head prop.
Yes. I have that look.
Yeah.
I have that look. I guess I have the extra protection, to get into tight spots. But I was a tight head prop pretty much my whole career.
I played in the front row at hooker,
Okay.
which is everyone. The rugby joke is make sure you support your local hooker.
There you go.
And,
Makes sense.
It's
So I supported him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
so
How?
yeah, just like I think you
Yeah.
were saying earlier, some of the unique rugby vocabulary.
Yeah.
Definitely makes it a fun game for the kids to learn.
But it seems intimidating. That's why I'm surprised someone would take it up, especially like midway through their high school career.
There's a lot of vocab.
Yeah.
But just like any sport, in its simplest, it's just running, catching, jumping.
Oh.
It's just athleticism. It's just simple sports movement.
Okay.
Learning the terms at the end of the day are helpful, but if you can run forward, tackle somebody, you've got half the game figured out.
Okay.
And that's the nice part about the game is you can just go out and play. And that's what we tell the kids. You've been playing tag since you were
Yeah.
in kindergarten, and this is a giant game of tag, but there's a ball involved now.
What's the ball called?
Rugby ball.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah,
so
that's
nothing
one thing
exciting.
without a
Yeah.
fancy name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks a little different than
They-
football,
they-
though, doesn't it?
It is. It's a little bit of a fatter, more rounded football.
Okay.
But yeah, we tell the kids, because kids get worried about that all the time. They're thinking about playing. They come up and talk to us. They're like, I have no idea what's going on. I've never seen the game. And I go, none of them have seen the game.
Right.
It's okay. Like, it's not that visible around here. And I
Right.
said, you'll know what to do really quickly. Like we can teach you enough that you can go out there and you can play. And then every minute that you play, you're going to learn more about it. I think that was the huge thing with our girls this year is they really took an emphasis on learning the finer points of the game. And you could see that rugby knowledge just really improve throughout our season. And it just showed that they were making some great decisions under pressure when it mattered the most.
So I know we heard from Catherine, who said that practice was like a living hell. What do you think a typical practice is like?
I love practice.
Oh, you do. You're the coach.
Right, but see, I jump in and run with them sometimes.
Oh, okay.
It's also doubles as my workout. So, I mean, I think the great thing about practice is we try to have a lot of fun. There is a seriousness to the practice, though, because it is a contact sport. So, we do have to tackle, or, we typically have our hard days on Wednesdays, kind of middle of the week, to work them into it and then, ease off. But I think I start every practice with a story that has no connection to anything.
Okay.
Just to lighten the mood for the day, especially if I know it's going to be a random or a tough day. But, it's really having the one-on-one conversations with them, and it's more conversational than coaching at times, really including them in the process. But, I mean, I would lie if there were not hard practices.
Sure.
But we also tend to let them know today's going to be a tough one.
Okay.
Like, mentally wrap your head around it. We don't like to surprise them.
Yeah, but I mean, I think, like I said, they just need to play the game. So, we'll try to break down some skills into smaller little games, and then eventually we try to build up into a game, and the kids just need to see it. And I think Mike and I and our other coaches do a really good job of, if a kid's making the wrong decision, or what we think maybe was the wrong decision, just asking them why they made it.
Okay.
And sometimes they'll give a reason. I'm like, oh, all right, got it now. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
well, maybe you can think of this next time, or because we want to spark that creativity in them. So I'm all right with them making mistakes in practice. Just explain to me what you were doing.
Just not during the game.
I mean, those are going to happen, right? I mean,
Yeah.
rather you make them in practice, but in the game they're going to happen, and let's just move on from it.
Sure.
So I think you can't make kids so worried about making a mistake that they lock up.
Sure.
So we try to make our practices kind of free flowing
And I'll tell you, this weekend we were in New Jersey. The girls, we kind of called it our Champions Tour.
Okay.
Because not everybody gets to go and play more games after a state title.
Right.
Typically, after a state title, you're done. Pizza party, awards, go home. We got to go play 3 games.
Yeah.
And in both games, it really was, let's forget our mistakes. Let's forget this happened. And even in the state title game, a couple things didn't go our way. It's okay-ish.
Yeah.
But let's forget it, move on. And that's kind of, and that goes back to how we've preached all year.
What does it take to be on the team? I asked the athletes the same thing, and they said anybody can do it.
Yeah, I mean, just a willingness to learn. I think the girls said every body is a rugby body. I mean, we have big 290-pound boys who start on the varsity football team, we have a couple of 110-pound boys who've never played a sport before.
No kidding.
And they're all on the field together. We'll find a position and we can find a role for you. Josie was a standout soccer player for Corning, and then she obviously brought that to us. But we have other girls who this was their first team sport that they've ever played. I don't know why they picked rugby, but I'm thankful that they did, because some of them are great players.
Yeah.
So I think it's really just a willingness to learn. Obviously you have to be comfortable with the contact portion of it, and that comes. But I think just like anything else, we have patience with that. Some boys and girls, it takes a little bit longer to get used to the contact,
Sure.
and it's just about building their confidence. And once you build that confidence, it usually takes off for them.
Well, just before we go, how do we get involved? Maybe if you're a student or if you're an adult.
So we start in middle school now. We just started a middle school program. So from 6th grade all the way up to 12th grade, we'll run some summer sessions. We typically have in the past once a week at the East Camp Uptown Park. They're usually on Tuesday nights. So we kind of keep it going for a little bit, and then the kids that are returning go back in fall sport. But really, it's go to the website corningrugby.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Find us, send us a message, and or find one of the players. They're pretty good at wearing gear all the time. We're pretty easy to spot around town. But really, from 6th through 12th grade, we'll take anybody. If you want to play, you want to learn, come out. We just always say, give us 2 weeks.
Okay.
Give us 2 weeks. You give us 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want, that's fine.
Yeah.
But very rarely after 2 weeks do the kids leave us. They usually stick around. And then we have our men's club that's forming for adult men, so that'll be 18 and up. And they're starting to figure things out. They're starting to make moves, and they're hoping to get competition going in the fall.
Okay.
And I think the nice thing, you can come from any school. We've had Horseheads players in the past, Elmira players. We have
Canasteo, Addison.
We have a couple of girls this year from down in Lawrenceville and Williamson High School.
So you're the
down
only
PA.
game in town? Rugby?
Yeah, the closest rugby to us is up in Rochester and Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
So,
Wow.
we'd love for it to get so big that we have to get another team down here.
Yeah.
But right now we're still just trying to build a sport in this community.
Mm-hmm.
Probably prior to 2016 there was none. So we're really just trying to get this sport going in the southern tier and just expand the game and show everybody what it can do.
So that must mean a lot of travel then, if there's teams so far and wide.
Yeah, this year, like on the girls' side, they're pretty much going to Buffalo. If the game's not home, they're going to Buffalo.
Okay.
Because that's where most of the girls' teams are. The boys are a little bit more spread out. Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo. So you're looking at a minimum hour and a half, 2 hours for an away game. So we really love home games.
Okay. Yeah.
But like the girls this year and the boys, we went on a tour to Maryland. Played a couple teams in Maryland. The girls had an opportunity to go to New Jersey twice. They're an emerging member of the Elite Girls Rugby League, which goes from Connecticut to the Carolinas. So they went to New Jersey twice, went to Maryland once, Buffalo a couple times, Rochester. We've gone to North Carolina last year for a trip. Pretty much I-95 is our best friend.
Yeah.
We do a lot of travel for the club, and with that comes costs and sponsors and everything else. So
but I'll say we have a great group of sponsors this year that really helped us provide opportunities to the girls and the boys. And we say all the time, money should never be a reason that you don't play.
Right.
It's not an expensive sport. I mean, you need a mouthpiece and some cleats. I mean, that's all the equipment you need. And I mean, there's nothing special about the cleats. It's just soccer cleats.
Yeah.
So, that investment's pretty low, and I think it was only $60 for us for the club dues this year. And that really just covered their insurance. So it's really a low cost sport. There is some travel, but we get buses and we help, and we have great parent support. So.
Well, people can find out more at CorningRugby.com if they want to become a sponsor, or you can buy the swag. You can buy like the shirts.
Yeah, we'll have those up when they're available. Yep.
We actually just opened up a store yesterday for championship T-shirts for the girls. So
cool.
If you're looking to support the girls' championship run this year, T-shirts, long sleeves. It's on all of our sites. So support Corning Rugby around town.
Great. Well, thanks so much for being on the program, and again, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking. That's a list of our guests from this morning's show, so thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV, Big Fox.